guys, it's Parsifal. I also go by Will, and I am back with another topic video. It is currently, as far as my scheduling goes, the 17th when this video is going up, which means, yay, it is Aromantic Awareness Week, which is the week right after Valentine's Day, where aromantic people want to bring awareness to aromanticism. So I figured that I would do a video on it. Since last year I did Aro Awareness 2020, and then in June I did What is a Queer Platonic Relationship. So this time I want to do a bit of a simpler video, similar to the What is a Queer Platonic Relationship video, but shorter and hopefully a bit more concise. I want to talk about the word amatanormativity. And it's a very important word in the aromantic community, and so I figured that I would define it for you guys today and talk about it a little. So if you weren't aware of this word, you can become aware of this word. And even if you are in the aro community and you hadn't heard of this word before, maybe this is your first time being exposed to it, maybe it's a word that'll fit. I know that when I found it, it shed a lot of light on things for me, and it was very helpful for my understanding of my interactions with the world. So, what is amatanormativity? I will see if I can put it up on the screen. If not, it'll be in the description card so you can see how it's spelled. Amatanormativity is a term that was coined by philosophy professor Elizabeth Brake. And she was primarily talking about herself. I have no idea whether she's aromantic or asexual or anything like that, but she was mostly talking about herself, and it's a word to capture social assumptions about romance. Specifically, to describe the assumption that the traditional view of a romantic relationship, which is a monogamous relationship where the parties are married, live together, and have children in a nuclear household, is the highest form of satisfaction in life, and that everyone in society strives for this type of relationship. Now, she was talking about this in terms of herself because she was being pressured to get married by her family, but this is also very important for the Aranese community. Now, what does this word mean in practical terms? Well, it means that in society, people assume that everyone in society wants their end goal in life to be finding a significant other and settling down with them to live their life. And not just like significant others plural, like one singular monogamous significant other settling down and live their life. And you can see this in stories about soulmates. It's a whole point of romantic comedies. There's stories about true love. You can see this in the pressure to have kids before you're 30 if you want a family. In your parents constantly asking you, well, have you found a boyfriend or a girlfriend yet? Etc., etc. Who are you dating? As if, like, that is super important to your life. And in many people's minds, it is. They want to be married. They want to be in a relationship with other people. They want to find their true love, their soulmate. So why is this a problem? Well, this is a problem because for anyone who is a non-monogamous person, so someone who is not about the singular married life, whether that be someone who doesn't want to get married or someone who has multiple partners, or someone who is asexual or aromantic, all of these people are now oddities or deviants in the system. None of these people are part of the monogamous, traditional, romantic relationship where you get married and settle down. Because either, like, maybe the asexual people don't want to have sex and therefore don't have kids, the non-monogamous people don't settle down with a singular partner, and the aromantic people just don't have romantic relationships, or rather they don't have a romantic drive. Now, to an extent, maybe there's some poly people who are able to be mono and can settle down and have kids. Maybe asexual people can function under this to a certain extent because they're in a romantic relationship and they marry someone that they have a romantic connection with. Demi-romantics, as a part of the aro spectrum, they can feel emotional, romantic attraction to people who that they know really well, intimately and emotionally. So maybe they can find a romantic partner that they marry and have kids with and settle down with. But many aromantic people who are content without a romantic relationship and or only want platonic or queer platonic relationships are therefore at a disadvantage and stigmatized because they do not strive for the romantic ordeal. They do not strive their end goal to be married with kids to a single person in a romantic relationship. Their relationships, as such, are devalued, including queer platonic relationships, because they are passed off as, well, they're more than best friends, but they're less than romance, which just isn't true. Um, it basically is implying that people who are aromantic, or in general, people who don't strive for this, have no value in life, and they don't have a, like, they don't have a drive to find the thing with the most value in life, when in reality, that's just not what their life is about. They aren't striving for this because they don't need it nor desire it. And that shouldn't be considered a bad thing. But, okay, hypothetically, let's go. Well, Will, I'm not asexual or aromantic, and I am monogamous. This doesn't affect me. It kind of does. Um, it hurts everyone to have this presumption that everyone wants to find their soulmate and get married and find true love, because it pressures monogamous people, monogamous singles, to stay in toxic relationships because of their fear of being single. It results in serial monogamy, where people just jump from relationship to relationship because they don't have enough value in themselves single as they to continue being single. They only have enough value in themselves as shown and reflected in a relationship with someone else. It also devalues other love that exists, like familiar love or platonic love, and it just reinforces this ranked system of relationships where romantic love is at the top and everything else is beneath. It means that people value their significant others over their friends and their family and even themselves. And some people might go, well, duh, it's my significant other. Of course I'm going to value them more than anyone else. And if that is the statement you have, my question is, why? Why is that an of course? Is it because you're going to spend your life with them forever? Because here's the thing. In an amatanormative society, a single person is expected to get married and move out of their house and leave their family behind for their spouse, and their friends aren't as important. Like, why is this one single person more important to you than, say, your family, who you have potential blood connections to, who raised you for a good, like, fifth of your life, who you were raised with if you're siblings, or, you have, like, respect for, assuming you have a good relationship with your family. And this is assuming you have a good relationship with your family. Why is your significant other, who, yes, becomes family when they marry you, why is this one single person more important than your parents who raised you, or your siblings who grew up with you for so long and are supposed to have been your friends for most of your life? Why is your significant other more important than your friends who also give you, emotional validation and support? But also, if you are putting so much value into one person, this puts so much pressure on someone's significant other, a single person, to provide for all of one person's needs and desires, because everyone is less important. Or two people have to provide for two people's needs and desires, and instead of being able to get those valuable relationships in other places, the romantic relationship is at the top, and therefore the most important. It is a harmful thought process that singles people out and devalues other relationships. And I have been a victim of this multiple times. I have had people go, well, of course I'm going to value the opinions and feelings of my significant other over yours. And it kind of sucks a lot. Because to a certain extent, it is telling someone that they aren't important to you. And maybe you're thinking, well, no, they're important to me. They're just not as important as my significant other. And if that is what someone thinks, how would you feel if someone told you that you weren't as important as another person to them? Not even in a significant other sense, just in general. Because it sucks, especially when you're a person who doesn't have a significant other or doesn't want a significant other and is content with that. But being told by everyone that you're not going to be as important in any of their lives because everyone else has a significant other and you don't, you're never going to be someone's priority, that is a thing that really, really hurts when you hear it over and over and over again. And it's a thing that really hurts even if you're trying to be single, or even if you are single and trying to find your soulmate or whatever, because it is this concept that unless you find that one person who will stay with you forever and value you just as much as you value them, no one else is going to consider you as important as their significant other is. And once again, you as a single person who is monogamous and is romantic and is sexual is not going to be valued by anyone else around you. And doesn't that kind of suck? And so the question remains, if amatanormativity sucks, like I'm proposing here, what is the alternative? And generally my go-to phrase for this would be relationship anarchy, but that's a bit of a rough phrase and I don't think a lot of people are going to like that one, so I'm going to break it down into more simple terms, and that is stop ranking relationships as more or less important based on one thing or another. Every relationship is going to be different. Every single romantic relationship is going to be different than the next. A sibling relationship is going to be different than a parent-to-child relationship. Friend relationships are going to be different than a romantic relationship. And so comparing them is going to be like comparing apples and oranges. They might be all fruit, they might be relationships, but each one is going to be different, and it's going to have a different sort of value and going to bring different things to your life. And therefore, we shouldn't be ranking any relationships at all as more or less important than one another, just different. But yeah. I think that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around for me with me for Aro Awareness Week 2020, where I talk about amatanormativity. If you have any questions about amatanormativity, feel free to ask them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. If this is your first time hearing about this word, I hope that you have been enlightened, and I hope that maybe it'll help some people understand their relationship with relationships in the world. I know it helped me when I was realizing that I was aromantic, so yeah. Otherwise, I will send you guys to the outro. Bye-bye! Well, that's the end of this video. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section, or contact me on any of my social media, which is linked in the description below. I also have my Patreon there if you guys want to throw a monthly donation at me. Thanks so much for your support. I'll see you next time. Bye!